So a couple of videos back, I created this. It was a mock-up of my Saracen Andes with some DropBars, 700C wheels, and a nice shiny AliExpress fork. I then sat on that mock-up as it was for a few days, and the more I looked at it, the more I just wasn't that very excited about it, I guess. So I moved on, made another video, and was going to pick it up this week. The day before I finished the build, I took out my Scott Impulse, this bike here. This current configuration is my dad bike that I've been using. Kids Ride Shotgun recently sent me a new seat for my son to ride on. I'm going to be doing a full video on that very soon, just hold on for that. But this is the way it looks right now, and it is sick. I like it very, very much. But the more I was riding it, the more I was thinking this would be cool with drop bars and an electric group set. So that's what I'm going to do. So I've come down to the workshop, I've just got the bike on the rack, ready to start taking parts off, and I've naturally gone on a side quest, and I've done this. This is a specialized crossroad, and I think it deserves these wheels. Originally I was going to put the 700C wheels on this build, but now I'm using this frame. I'd rather use 26 because it's cool. So I think that's going to happen. So there's that. Also debating on which fork to use. So it's got the medium Attilio one on there at the moment, which I absolutely adore, but with the type of build this is going to be, I'd kind of like a little bit more height. So I think I'm going to use this one, which is the AliExpress one that was on the mock-up that I did for this build, which does give me a little bit more. Plus, it's quite cool looking, and it needs something cool, I think. So we're going to do that as well. But before we get too carried away thinking about the fork, some of these components we're going to have to take off because we're going to be replacing them. Okay, it's time to start going the other way now. We need to build it back up again. Starting with this Crown Race, I want to keep the headset that's currently on the bike, so I need to save the Crown Race using this Crown Race tool. As always at the moment, I didn't have the right spacers for this build because I didn't really know I was doing it. The purple I don't like, the black I'm more into, but I didn't have enough of them, so I was gonna like mix and match them. Luckily Sam had some, but yeah, spacers.
in case you're wondering, I don't have a star nut tool, so I use a top cap with an old bolt. The bolt is purely just for using that, and then just whack it in with a hammer, and the top cap keeps it from going wonky and keeps it nice and straight. Easy. Now, I'm not being funny, this bike is probably not the most practical thing I've ever built, and maybe it won't be very fast, maybe it won't be very comfortable, it's potentially a little bit too small for me, but my gosh, is it fun. You know what, I think I've got a sticker for this.
Yeah, that's right. Probably the most popular sticker that's ever been on my website. The warning, this bike was built for fun. Please ride irresponsibly. This is perfect for the Impulse, but it may be also perfect for your bike. So if you are interested in this sticker, or we have got a load of new colours of the Bulky Boy Bike Club stickers. All of those are available on saveourbikes.com. It helps me out massively, supports the channel, and helps me do these videos. So if you're interested in some of those lovely stickers, head there now.
Now I've got a couple of nice little finishing touches to put on this build. Firstly though, the Hex Components top cap. I've got some matching bar ends that we'll look at later on, but look at this thing, it is absolutely stunning. They've been to Bespoke recently. I know they got a lot of attention over there, and they were nice enough to send me a top cap and some bar ends out recently, so here's the bar ends as well. And yes, I think they're going to suit this bike very, very well. Thank you guys. Before we do that though, I did find some more black spacers, thank you Sam. So I'm going to switch those out as well, because the purple I just didn't like too much. I think the black's going to look better because the bars are black as well, so let's do that quickly. I was over at my mate Val's the other day and he handed me this little present. I've seen them loads of times on the internet, and I've always been like, oh, maybe I'll try one of those out, but I never have. But essentially it's a laser that you put on the handlebars so you can see exactly if it's straight or not, by putting a little laser on the tyre. To my surprise, I got this bang on, so that was funny, I guess. Maybe you don't need one of these. But jokes aside, how many times have you set the handlebars up, gone for your first ride and been like, it's not quite there. It just means you can do it first time, bang, done, and off you go. So yeah, I like it. It's really, really simple, but it's effective. So cheers, Val. I want to go 11 speed on this build. So currently there's a 10 speed cassette on there, so I'm going to switch that out just like that. Right then, we're on to the really fun stuff now. Let's get this group set on there and some brakes. So this is the EDS TX from Wheeltop. It is a electronic group set. The version I've got comes with hydraulic brakes. My version is the carbon fiber version, so there's lots of parts on it that are all nice and carbon-y. You can run up to a 14 speed cog on the back. I've got 11, and the max capacity is 36. The levers have hydraulic fluid inside already. It's mineral oil, and so do the hoses and calipers, which we'll get onto shortly. As I took the 10 speed chain off, I thought I'd get a nice freshie out. If you don't put a chain on your bike, you can't ride it anywhere. I don't know if anybody knows that. It's a pretty important part of building bikes. Just saying. And just like that, it was shifting. I had to sort out the limiting screws just to make sure it didn't jump off the cassette. But as soon as you have that on there, it just works. It's really, really easy to set up. So Wheeltop also sent over some EDS brakes. These are flat mount brakes. I did buy these adapters to try and make them fit, but I also needed a different adapter on the bike itself for then this adapter to work. So long story short, I couldn't make it work right this second, so I shoved the other brakes back on, which were completely compatible with hoses, so it just worked. So that was kind of lucky. So the second to last thing that I needed to do on the bike was put the bar tape on. I don't have a lot of footage of me putting the bar tape on because it was extremely frustrating. I've only ever done it a couple of times and several years ago. I've never really done it on my own bikes, and I'm not very good at it. That's it really. I'm sure there's some people on here commenting right now saying how bad it is. I'm sorry. I'll fix it eventually. Promise. I know you can't see it right now, but there is a saddle on this bike. It's just camouflaged. I'm going to change it to a different one because I can. Now, and the very, very last thing to add was Jack the Rack. I absolutely adore this thing. So much so, I think I'm going to get a couple more in the other colours. So I've got them on all bikes, basically. But the big benefit of these racks is the fact that they come on and off so easily that it doesn't really matter too much if you've got one going between bikes. So, yeah, massive fan of these things. They're really, really cool. Well, that's that, I guess. Should we go take a look at it?
Now, to say that I'm happy with this bike is a complete understatement. It is unbelievably cool. It's everything I dreamt it would be, and I'm really happy with it. But just as I finished building it, Sam came out of the workshop and was having a look at it. He said it was really cool, really liked the way it looked. And as I was riding around on it, he said, "You do realise that bike's too small for you?" And I did realise this. I think I said this at the end of the last video I did building this bike, that after riding it on trails for a little while, I get a little bit of pain in my back, and it's just to do with how small it is. I've tried doing a few things with it to make it a bit longer, a bit bigger, but like, it is just a bit too small for me. So I'm going to continue playing with this bike for a little while. I'm going to take it a little bit further and longer. I'm wondering if having drop bars on this bike in the different positions and stuff might actually solve the problem, but it is kind of too small for me. So in a true Second Life Bikes fashion, I've already got an idea of a frame replacement for this bike. We're not going to completely rebuild it because essentially, because of the wireless group set, it's going to be quite simple to just pop it onto another frame. So I do have a couple of ideas in mind, but I will take this out first, confirm it all, and then potentially switch the frame to something else, because I've not had a DropBar bike for a long time, and it was fine, didn't really like that much, but something about having chunky tyres, and I've not ridden this very far yet, it's so much fun. It's a super fun bike to ride, feels a bit different, feels a bit weird. I really like it, but I know it's going to hurt my back a little bit, so I need to put a bigger frame on it. But I want to hear from you guys. Let me know what you think of the build. Would you ride this bike? Is it too weird? Should I have stuck with doing the 700C wheels? Is the 26 look good? I don't know. Tell me what you think about it in the comments below. And that's the end of the video. If you're new to the channel from this video, hello, welcome. We do lots of different bike builds around here. We do reviews and testing as well, but it's pretty much all bike content. So if you like bikes, you have found your people. God, I sounded like Russ then. Well, anyway, if you would like to hit the button just coming up here, this is the subscribe button. It's completely free and it helps me out a bunch. And if you cannot wait until next week's video, that one there is a particularly good one.